Okay guys, now I'm going to show you how to take the little web that we made and we're going to add a spider to it. So I like the way this looks, so I'm going to lock this down, create a new layer, and this is going to be for my spider. So this one I can just call spider. And let's get started. So I'm going to start with a circle. And what I could do, just to get things more visible, is turn off that web layer. Might be a little bit easier. Okay, now something new with gradients I'm not sure that a lot of you know about. So watch what I do with this with the gradient tool. I'm going to take my gradient, I'm going to set it to be radial. Now when I do this, see this dotted line that pops up around it? Okay, a couple things you can do with this. You can take this part of it and shrink it down and expand it. You can take this one and rotate it. But what the most important thing is for us is you can take this black dot and move it in and make it into an actual oval shape gradient. It's a pretty cool little trick. And then you can take the center point and just move it wherever you need it to go. So that looks kind of good. I'm going to move this down a little bit. I don't think I want white to black. I'm going to choose more like a dark gray to black. And maybe a little bit. There we go. Something like that. Alright. Once I have this shadow going, or this gradient going, I want to make the exact same kind of gradient for the head. So that way it looks like the light is coming from the same spot. So I'll move this in, leave it on top for the head, and then the only thing I need to do is adjust this gradient. You can see it's a little bit too narrow for a head shape. So that's easy. Go to here, grab that black dot and just pull it out some. And I can shrink this down more to size. And I can pull this out just a little bit. There we go. So now I have a head and I have the body. Next thing I'm going to work on are the fangs. Oh, come back here. Okay, for the fangs are pretty easy. Let's pick a really cool orangish yellow gradient, maybe. So we'll grab orange to start, and I'm just going to draw a circle, and then I'm going to draw another circle, and I'm looking for this shape right here. Okay? So I can select all these things, and I can go to my Pathfinder, and I'll just divide them. And then I can grab all four of these and delete them. And now I have the thing. Go to my panel, put the fang below the head, and now I'll add a gradient to it. So I really like this color, I think. So let's go to my gradient toolbar here and make it radial, and we'll go like yellow to like maybe this shade of yellow. Ooh, that looks nice and creepy. Okay, now look what I have going on with my radial gradient. Probably want it just to go to there, but maybe I can move it around a little bit. That looks good. I'll take this and I'm going to reflect it with a copy. So I'm going to transform, reflect as a copy. So I get a second one. We'll put it over here. Hold down Shift so it is moving in the same, same line. That looks good. All right. Next thing I'm going to do are my eyes. Okay, So let's get to the path up here, and maybe I'll go with this copper radial. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, I like. So I'm going to zoom in on this so I can play around with this a little bit more. So let's get this more centered. And I'm going to have them looking downward, so I want that light to be a little lower. And maybe not so much the white on there. Let's see what a dark red looks like. That looks kind of evil. Maybe a darker red around it. Oh, that is really kind of creepy looking. Maybe a darker red around that. That one purple, I'm not digging the purple at all. There we go. Now I've got a pupil, and I've got the iris, and then I've got the dark background. But you can make yours look however you want. This is just what I'm doing for mine. So I think it looks a little sick. Alright. So we have an eye, and option click, eye, option click, eye, and option click, eye. That's kind of gross looking. In a good way. Alright. Now, I'm also told that these little buggers, if you're a wolf spider, you have smaller ones right here. So put like one there, maybe one there. And then you have one that goes up here, and then one that goes up here. So that's my spider eyes that I have. One thing about these eyes, it needs to have something of a stroke around the bottom. So I'm going to go with way too thick. I'm going to go with maybe a half. Yeah, maybe a 0.25. That looks good. Maybe, yeah, I do a 0.5. That looks good. And then I'm going to expand that out. Just the stroke. Okay. Then I can select the strokes here. That's all these guys are. So if you go into these, you'll see I have a compound path. And here I have a compound path. So these are good to have. Well, good to use the layers panel for this. So you can be very specific about what you're grabbing. And I'm going to take that and make them into gradients as well. But these are going to be much darker. So maybe I'll move the red over. There. Alright, those will all be radials. You can kind of see where they are. I think I want to make it even darker. I don't like that brown there. I want more black. See, that's more red. Oh, actually, that red looks kind of good. What I'm trying to do is get it so the color actually shows up right where the radial is. So all I need to do is move that this way and move this guy this way. There, so it starts to get that little blech on it. So that's what I'm going to do to these. Yep. Sometimes you'll have to do them individually like this. Oh, that's looking cool. Notice I'm not clicking on these gradient bars when I'm messing with these. I'm just hovering my mouse over it and they just pop up. Alright, that looks good. I can make this come in a little bit more so it fits this a little bit more exactly. Get over there. You get over there. Yeah, I like that. Alright. That looks good. That looks good. Move this guy down some. Oops. Clicked on the wrong part. Bring you down. Bring you in a little bit. I should bring them in first. Bring this up. Bring this in. Bring this up. Okay, let's see what those look like. Oh yeah, I'm liking that one a lot. I'm liking this one the most. Okay, so good. I know which one I like the most. Oh, I did not mean to move the head. Let's lock you down. Good deal. Like him the most, so I'm just going to duplicate him the most. Alright. Don't be afraid of working on something and then realizing, oh, this would look a lot better if it was this other way instead. And then redoing it like I'm doing right now. It's no big deal. You're totally allowed to do that. Alright, maybe I'll make these a little bit stretched out. There. Alright, I am liking that a lot. Kind of looks like holes in his head almost. Kind of gross. Okay. Next thing for the legs. I kind of have to hurry. Sorry about that, but I'm running out of time. Rounded rectangle is best. And linear is best. And you want that linear to be up and down. Like that. And then you're going to copy and paste this and then just rotate it around and make it a little bit thinner and smaller as you go outward. And then maybe one more. A little bit thinner, a little bit smaller. Well, this is going to be like his claw or whatever, so I want that to be very small. And I can move this in and I can rotate the whole thing. Alright, and then I can transform, reflect via copy, put this one right over here. So you get the idea. Alright, that's about all my time. I think you can figure out doing the rest. Finished one. Don't know if I really want the body to be there or move it above everything else. I haven't quite decided yet. Still trying to figure that part out. But anyway, if I bring this back out and I turn on my web, then you can see what the whole thing looks like. And it's kind of cool looking. Move him over, put him in the center, and he's done.